A little bit of a mix-up in opinion about who might end up winning. NIP going to be starting off on the defensive side and REUNITED going to be on the offensive side. Are you seeing any big upsets here in the compositions?
Nothing too much. I mean, this is standard comps we've seen here and there. Kib has done Roadhog a recent amount of time. Morte is going to be trying to build the early nano boost, but here's the cool thing. Vods has great flank attacks here on maps like this, on your 2CP maps, and you see what he's doing here. He's already to the back, and he's going to be a huge pest here. He might not get picked up immediately, but he's going to be up front. He's just going right in as the rest of REUNITED tries to go up the front, but they definitely stymieing them to start things off.
Well, Mafu picking up a kill there on Unfixed, and that's going to be the REUNITED Saria down already, and look at the push coming through from NIP, just uncontested. And I mean, it might not have been Vods getting a lot of the kills there, but he made life really a little bit tricky for NIP.
Yeah, and I think what REUNITED was going for there is that Vods was coming in from the back right as REUNITED came in through the front, but that ice wall was able to cut them off and make things really rough. So they're going to go for the same play again. We'll see if they can avoid the ice wall a little bit better this time, and they will have the nano boost to back them up as they move in, which Zupi is not built up quite yet. And here comes Vods, all sorts of damage going in on Ana. Ana in trouble, has to back out immediately, and here comes the rest of REUNITED moving right in through the front.
Well, Mort's already down, Cruz to follow. They finally take care of one of the big players there, and Sapis Mafu going down as well. It's Kip and Vods picking up a couple of kills here, and finally it seems to be working out, and the respawn time to get back here for NIP is going to take quite a while. So I feel like REUNITED with a really solid push. I mean, that was fairly quick. It didn't take that long.
It was very solid coordination between the flanker and the front line, but more than that, the nano boost was the key, because look at Zupi. He still has his nano boost up. That means he wasn't able to get up in time and use it in the last fight, and that was a key factor as to why REUNITED was able to take point A so darn quickly.
It's just a really good job. I like the idea of the Tracer being able to occupy both the NIP supports that effectively, so that they both have to, they obviously have to keep the heals up and sort of keep doing the supporting role, but they really have to try and stay alive against the Tracer too, and that is not easy. And speaking of which, the Tracer is down, Cruz to follow here, NIP putting up a rock solid defense, only Himsy going down in the middle of that ultimate, so a bit of a shame, but ultimately NIP looks like they should be able to hold this.
NIP definitely a good position, and the thing about these maps, like Full Sky, like Hanamura, and all the rest, is that you have to have a very decisive attack. You effectively can't lose anyone, or the defense will be able to come back in, stall it out, and eventually overwhelm you. And the really good thing about that there for NIP, Anders, is that they were able to maintain their sound barrier. Kinnel could save that there because of how quickly that went in their favor, and now that's going to be a real problem for REUNITED on this next push.
Yeah, NIP about to have 5 ultimates. REUNITED are about to have 4, but, you know, it's still going to be a little bit tricky, I think, to get the right initiation in on NIP. I doubt they'll all be standing in one group here, so we'll see if that ultimate from Unfixed could really do anything. And with that kind of a hook, REUNITED sort of put on cooldown again.
REUNITED, now they just have to back out. They don't want to go in 5v6. Even being down just one person after winning a fight is a big deal in these maps, so they're not going to be able to do it. But look at NIP's ult bank right now. REUNITED, they're coming up with their ults, but NIP, they should absolutely be able to win the next fight if they play it properly. And Mafu, definitely the one to watch, could be set up for a big graviton here in just a moment.
He's going to be able to do it or not. There's still almost 5 minutes here for REUNITED, so even if they sort of dive a fight here and don't really make it work, they should be in a good mood. There is the nano boost coming in on the Reinhardt, trying to see if they can wake up. But look at Himsy just forcing them back with the Overhawk. That's incredible play, and going to be falling all the way back up top, actually. Just getting a good shot in on Winghaven. He's going to be out of it. Cruz to fall as well. And now in the corner there, Tracer on Vods. Don't think it's going to be too much done.
And here's one for REUNITED. REUNITED is trading out kills here, but they're not winning this decisively. It's going against them. And Anders, they used their ultimates in that. That was a full-on ult showdown, which means that they might have sound barrier up for the next fight, but really they used a lot of the resources there and got nothing for it. So that is a gigantic win for NIP. And for REUNITED, they're just going to have to hope that Cruz's sound barrier can somehow do it for them on the next push.
Cruz has his, Mort almost has his as well, as 90%. I mean, it could be that REUNITED can have the ults up before Nib, couldn't it? If they just managed to not give too many hits away here. And behind the shield, that's certainly doing a good job so far.
Well, they're going to go with the sound barrier into the nano boost. They could put it on Winghaven. They can also put it on Kib. But here we go. REUNITED moving in. They're breaking it down, and they're going to rush right in. Here comes the nano boost coming right in, and it is Kib. Kib rolling right in, throws the Death Blossom, gets Mafu, gets Himsy. It's a double kill for Kib. And REUNITED looking good on here. despite losing Baltaja pretty early.
Yeah, they still have Winghaven actually just using his ultimate now, and they've got a lot of kills in there, trying to see if they can turn the point here. Kib going to be taking out Sappers. It's definitely looking good, but the reinforcements are coming and the respawns are happening. And right now, Nip just scattering onto the point, trying to see if they can get here in time and prevent REUNITED from turning it. And there's always someone contesting this point. I mean, Kib, he's getting so many kills, and he can't seem to actually follow through and cap this point. Finally, they're on it. They're going to get the first tick in, and now the rest of NIP just slowly staggering onto this point.
Kib just playing with NIP right now, is getting kill after kill. REUNITED still flooding in, but here's the problem, is that you see Kib mopping up all these kills, Reaper. Still, you have NIP rushing in, and eventually Kib is going to go down. They were able to reinforce, and this is why it's so hard to capture this last point. Anders, despite that domination from REUNITED, look at NIP, look at the progress. It's only 1/3. That's why these maps are so hard to cap out.
And it was ridiculous because actually they had 5 people on the point for a very long time. And it just there kept being one NIP player that just stopped any progress from happening. So that is definitely rough for REUNITED. Just couldn't really do enough. Now there are 2 ultimates up here, but they're not necessarily in the best combination. Valutaja and Morden. Oh my god, what a hook coming out. Cruz, him again. Why is it always him?
It's one of those things where Himsy is going out of his way to target the Lucio, and Himsy goes for these high-risk, high-reward hooks. It's only a 6-second cooldown, so why not throw your hook at a ridiculous angle and hope the hitbox catches Lucio's hair, because it caught Lucio there, and it just ruined REUNITED's push. Full stop.
And Huck did warn us that Himsy was well known for playing this type of Roadhog, so we shouldn't be too surprised. Again, they're taking the elevator up, and they're up on the high ground again. Going to be actually pushing down already. Valutaja in the background. He's got the ultimate. Can he get rid of the Ana here? Bionade already out just to try and guy a little bit of time here. And Valutaja actually doing quite a bit of damage and not really taking any in return. They're not focusing him down. There's the ult out. It doesn't do nearly as much as it should.
He missed the stick on the Reinhardt. That was a big miss coming out from Valutaja. Still, though, in the back, going well. Cruz able to reinforce with the Sound Bear, and here comes REUNITED. They're rolling right on top of the point. The Groundton Surge for Unfixes out, sets up for 2 kills. Valutaja still poking in the back line, but in comes Himsy. Takes out Kib. Kinnel is in, and as a result, this is now rough for REUNITED. Even though they're winning the fight, they might just be losing the war once again as the defensive respawns come in.
Losing the war and running out of time as well. 50 seconds is what we're down to here. They are on the point. They're trying to cap it. But again, NIP, they keep respawning. The kills are 2 separate right now for REUNITED. They're getting 1 kill every 5 seconds or so. And that buys time for NIP to run back in and contest a point all the time. They do have 3 ultimates and almost Kib here with the Death Blossom of REUNITED. This could still happen, but it's almost the last chance here.
It is the last chance that's coming in 30 seconds. If they get wiped out here, they're not going to be able to come back. They do have a bit of an ult advantage. A lot is going to be here on Winghaven. Winghaven can land a big Earthshatter to set things up. If he can find the right moment, it could be the full team wipe that REUNITED needs. So we'll see how this works out. Nano Boost could just be going in. And here it goes. Nano Boost in on Kib. Kib coming in over the top. Winghaven in the bottom. Kib opens the Death Blossom. Takes out Kinnel. Moves right to the back line. And meanwhile, REUNITED, they're flooding on. They have a 65 advantage. This is looking okay for them right now. But as I say that, it is Fraggy with the counter.
And honestly, great play from Fraggy at the beginning of that initiation, just blocking that Death Blossom with the shield and making sure he was doing minimal damage. He's still at it, still alive right now. NIP putting up a really solid defense. The Earthshatter comes out as well, and Cruz trying to stay alive on that point for just a little while longer. Himsy missing a hook for once, and now it's just in overtime, and this is the last push for REUNITED. Obviously, they're going to have to try and do this. Himsy will eventually go down, and Winghaven with a kill on Mafu. Finally, REUNITED turning it around. It's the last possible second. They're going to lose Sappis as well, and now they're trying to cap it here. Can they hold on any longer? It doesn't seem likely.
Here comes the Tracer. This is going to be a big Tracer delay if Fraggy can go around. He's going to have to dart in and about for one more moment. Roadhog trying to come in, not going to be in time. And REUNITED able to pull that back from the brink. That was very unlikely towards the end because they started out that fight with an early pick, but then it was Fraggy moving in, not letting Winghaven get a good Earthshatter, and running around getting the kills that was required. But Winghaven, despite holding on to the Earthshatter for so long, was able to find the right moment at the end, landed it down, was able to complete the cleanup, and REUNITED actually turned that in their favor at the very last second. And that's huge for their odds of winning the map.
Absolutely. It ends in overtime for the first half here, but now we get to see what they could do on the defensive side, and especially NIP on offense. I'm really curious about if they're going to pull out that 3-3 or if they're going to try something else. What do you think about REUNITED going for the exact same avenue of attack every time? They went up the elevator, went to the high ground, and went down the exact same route. It was sort of like just rinse and repeat. Do you think that became predictable for NIP, and did that sort of hurt their chances of winning that point?
It's definitely a little bit on the predictable side. I also think that despite REUNITED playing this map probably more so than others in tournament play, this is not the most well-practiced map. You go into a scrim with the team and go, yeah, we want to do some Volskaya. The other team's going to look at you weird if you could see them looking at you and go, yeah, no, we're just going to practice King's Row instead. So I don't think, one thing you see in these maps is that in a Volskaya set, teams tend to get better as the map goes on, just because they do get to play on things more and go for that. And REUNITED, they definitely could have switched things up a little bit more, but I think in the end they're just thinking, we're not losing this because of how we're going in, we're losing it because we're not executing well.
My personal favorite on this map is obviously the platforms that go around, and just, you know, McCreolt on that comes sliding in. I don't know if it works competitively, but certainly in public play does.
Give some love to the Bastion there that gets a turret for him and goes over.
That's what I'm saying.
Or the Torbjorn turret. I know we have some Torbjorn fans that are out there. A Molten Core running over. Golden Boy loves Torbjorn. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
Well, it is going to be REUNITED defending now, and NIP on the offense. So we'll see how that is going to be working out. And I am seeing a Hanzo on Sapis.
This is the high-risk, high-reward opening here from NIP. They're going to hope that Zappis is able to get the early pickoff. Going to be looking for support in the back. Meanwhile, REUNITED, they're just holding on the high ground, letting NIP come to them. They're bending a bit here, but their idea is that they want to have a better positioning. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But for now, NIP just looking for pickoffs with the Hanzo and Roadhog.
Well, I think that barrier went up for Valetaja just before the split arrow. That could have been a little bit scary otherwise. Maybe it could have been a dead monkey early on. Winghaven going to be going down immediately. That's a big kill on one of the big tanks there coming out for REUNITED. But Kip and Cruz fighting back and taking out Hanzo. So this is looking a little bit sketchy right now. NIP may have to fall back.
NIP might have to fall back, but here's the thing is that you can reinforce much quicker here on Volskaya. So they could still have a 6v4 coming up here in just a moment. This is not great for REUNITED, the fact that they lost 2 people. But here we go. It is NIP rolling onto the point. Nano boost. Reinhardt making all sorts of space. Hammers unfixed right in the face. And NIP, they're going to win this war of attrition at this rate.
Yeah, there was the ult coming out, but it just wasn't enough. The counter Earth Shatter from Fraggy. Fraggy's just playing an absolutely amazing Reinhardt right now. He's being supported well. We've got to give credit to Supe for doing that. It's definitely working out, but ultimately just a good combination there.
That's the real benefit to how NIP ran that with Roadhog and Hanzo, is that really all they're looking for is 1 or 2 picks, because again, you can reinforce so much quicker on the attack that for the defense, those 1 or 2 picks basically will spell the death knell. But REUNITED, they do have some time to set up. It's not going to be a wave right in. They do have ultimates at their command in Nano Boost and Primal Rage, and NIP can have a little bit of trouble here potentially, unless Himzy gets that big hook.
Oh, shield up to deny that, but it was at the last possible second. Got to be a bit careful with that. We've got 6 minutes here for NIP. It's a bit more time than REUNITED have. There's the hook, but it is on the Winston, and he's going to be out of there immediately. In the meantime, they did lose Sappers on the Tracer.
Zappis does go down, and again, Tracer can get back a little bit earlier, but anytime you're down to play on the attack, it's rough. Himzy right now, I think, is just, they're staying back, they're waiting for the full reinforcement, just giving Himzy time to go for hooks, but you look at how REUNITED is playing, they're playing around it, but here comes Fraggy. Nano Boost is out, rolling right in, counter Sound Barrier, and Nano Boost in for REUNITED, though. Winghaven having a hammering good time, takes down 2, and NIP, rough shape on this push.
Definitely Winghaven also going to get ulted there, so a little bit in return. The ult coming out as well from the Roadhog, and it looks like REUNITED are going to be able to thwart them this time and have to fall back all the way. And are they going to let them? It seems like REUNITED are, well, they are extending quite far into the map. They did get Himzy killed. I always feel like that's one of those calls that's really hard to make on the fly. How far do we chase before this could backfire on us?
That is exactly right, because there's plenty of times in Overwatch competition. I remember when C9 was on their ridiculous streak, where the only time they tended to lose is that they would overchase, get punished, and then be really rough with the defense. But let's take a look at this NIP offense right now. They have Graviton Surge, they have Pulse Bomb, they have Sound Barrier, they have an ult advantage. This is one of the best windows they're going to have for taking a big advantage in this game, and it's going to be up to Mafu. Can he set up Zappis for the big play?
He's certainly waiting for it, hasn't dropped the ult, but there it is. Is he going to be able to draw anybody in? The supports are still in the back line. Sap is there, getting a huge double kill to start off the fight, and following up Himzy with 1 in the corner. A lot of trouble here for the Mei. He's going to eventually fall. Cruz out of the round, and what a great push from NIP. You ask the question, and they answer CP.
The answer is that Zappis came in, got the follow through on Mafu's setup, and everything worked well for NIP. They didn't lose a single person on that push, and that is why they have taken the point with a lot more time in their time bank.
Very, very interesting. You saw the Diva being brought out at the end of the defensive matrix put up. I sort of wish he would have just like flown straight onto the point, but I'm not sure that would have made a difference. You know, could have bought like an extra 3 seconds. That was a lot of damage at one point. And I was going to say, it looked like the problem that NIP were having was that a lot of the supports, and not even just the supports, I think the Zarya was in the back line, sort of on the bridge behind the point. So it's really tricky. You put that Zarya ultimate down, there's a chance they could just get behind a wall and they won't be dragged down from that bridge. So having to deal with half the team being on the point and half the team being on the bridge behind the point, that's not easy.
It makes things really tough for Zarya, especially when teams go out of their way to play around the Zarya and all her trickery that she has. But teams, honestly, even some of the very best teams in the game, do have trouble keeping track of Zarya ult. And when you're running a Tracer with that, when you can get 2-3 people in and a Pulse Bomb can just clean them up, it is devastating, especially when, from the REUNITED point of view, that was one of the only ways that NIP could actually cleanly wipe out enough people to take that point.
We'll see how all of this is going to unfold here. It's still only the first map, and it's on Volskaya. We were all a little bit surprised at that. NIP going to get a chance to go on the offensive again. And you spoke of that time bank here. 4 minutes and 17 seconds. They are in great shape, CP.
All they have to do is capture point A, and they will take this. REUNITED, their backs are against the wall. This is not a good position to be in. They lose a single team fight, or even if they just lose 2 people in a fight and can't reinforce in time, it's over for them. So they have to play pretty much perfectly here in this.
They're on the high ground early on, but already dropping some of the tanks down there. We'll see if they can keep their support safe. That was one of the things that failed for them last time, is that it didn't happen. Great hook coming in, but the shield also up on Winghaven. He's still going to be going down. In fact, that's such a big loss. And Himsy in the back line here. Hook online again. He's not quite going to hit it. That could have been horrible.
Things are going from bad to worse for me right now. They're down a player for a long time. Himsy, full HP, can get hooks. Gets Vala, Taja. 6v4 right now for NIP. Ladies and gentlemen, if they get 1 or 2 more, this is going to be over. And NIP in a truly dominant position as they're just cleaning up REUNITED with ease.
Some great shots being landed by him. See, even when he's not landing the hooks, those secondary fires is going to be perfect, and they're capping the point, and what can they possibly do? Another hook coming in, Winghaven out, and NIP are going to take the first map here. Just a great performance from them. You know, I mentioned them trying to pick up the supports. That didn't even happen. They went straight for the tanks and wrecked them.
And the big difference here between the two teams is that NIP was able to coordinate their ults much sooner than REUNITED was. REUNITED, it took them every last second to get on the second point. NIP, casually, waited for Graviton Surge, waited for Pulse Bomb, got in, executed, and now they're up a map.
Now, on the defensive side, just talking about this first point here, you saw that NIP was setting up with like a very forward defense right at the choke point, and you saw REUNITED being further back on the high ground. Just a sort of personal note, which is your preferred one for out of those two, just?
It's a little bit interesting. Actually, it's neither. I feel like teams have seen them do the best in Volskaya defense when they go out of their way to sort of collapse right as you get through the choke point. So not at the choke, you let them through the choke, but as they go to the left or the right, you collapse in. That's when we've seen the best Volskaya defenses. So usually it was with Junkrats back in the day, and who knows, maybe running a Junkrat here might have been a better idea, just to not let a team get set up, because if you go to the choke point, you're really far out and exposing yourself to hooks. If you're really far back in the high ground, you're conceding a lot of advantage, so in terms of the other team setting up. So it's a little bit tricky. I just feel like teams don't have the best prep for Volskaya in general because it is the most rarely played map.
All right, well, maybe we can see it more. It's been picked a couple of times here, but not always played. And here we go. Back at the Lenovo Cup, we see the history here between REUNITED and NIP. You did say you sort of preferred NIP, and just from a historical standpoint, that doesn't look like too bad of a bet. It's always tricky, and I feel like as the odds increase and the pressure increases, not all teams respond equally well to that, but NIP on the first map certainly did.
NIP came in strong. There was sort of a question mark coming in here to how is NIP going to do in an in-person event like this, because this is relatively new for them. They were not at Gamescom, so they come here and they came in strong. So any questions people might have had going, oh, are they going to have jitters coming in? It's going to be rough. And even on the DPS side, you saw players like Zappis come in real strong on Tracer.
Absolutely. He made life very hard for some of the supports in the backline. And Valutashi was doing the same thing on the United side. It's definitely interesting to see how well that works. Obviously, at the end here, when you've got the full wombo combo, things are going to be working out so well. But I mean, it did help to bring this final point. But I'm usually more impressed with the sort of support harassment than I am with the ultimate Zarya combo.
The great thing about the Zarya combo of Tracer, though, is that Tracer does well when she's in uneven number of situations or in one-on-one. She is a duelist. She's not great in the very beginning of the fight when 6v6 and she can be focused down by a bunch of stuff. But if you take out 2 people early on with that pulse bomb, you're free to dart around and go after people. And they have bigger worries than the Tracer, but if they're not looking at you, tons of damage, some of the highest in the game if you can get behind someone in a headshot. Just absolutely devastating.
Very curious to see what that's going to play like here on our next map that's going to be coming up. But yeah, now the question becomes Reunited. How are they going to feel sort of mentally? Are they going to be able to bounce back? There's a lot on the line. It's not like they're out if they lose this, but then they're in the losers match and can only really lose 2 matches, and then you are going to be out.
It's definitely not a good start. I think going in here, the fact that it was a Volskaya map, that they have played a whole lot in competition, the fact that they have more in-person experience, I definitely think that expectations-wise, they thought they would go in there and do better than they did. The one upside, though, is that maps like Volskaya, Hanamura, Temple, they are known for being a little bit more variable. The big reason why NIP won that so hugely is that they were able to get their big combo off earlier on the fight. There's no saying that Reunited couldn't have done a little bit better on one of their early fights and done that, but it does come down to how soon do you get that quick attack. And that's how the assault maps tend to work out.
Well, our second map coming up is going to be on Numbani, so we'll see how that all unfolds. Obviously a hybrid map where you got to cap the first point and then push that payload all the way to the end. And we've seen that play out sort of quite a few different ways. For one thing, some teams seem to have a really hard time capping even the first point.
Definitely, and one thing about Numbani that I just want to touch on is that for those who have followed Overwatch for a long time, Numbani has been Reunited's map. You talk about, we looked at the NA side of things, where NRG was really known for great Dorado play. Well, Reunited is known for great Numbani play. It's a thing where they don't even always recognize. I think they've recognized it more in recent times, but it's their map. They don't always win on it, but usually things do go pretty well for them.
And you just saw that tweet coming out from Reinforce on Rogue saying that given the map choice selection here, he thought maybe NIP could just take a 2-0 here. So we'll see if that is going to be the case. We're heading into Numbani here. It is the first map here of the European group, first match. And the second map coming up now with NIP leading 1-0. They did win on Volskaya Industries. Now, going to see if they can also take it on Numbani, or if Reinforce are going to put up Reunited are going to put up a big fight here. So confusion.
Too many reusing the scene. But yeah, we were just saying up here, and Numbani is cool because it is the lab, and oh my goodness, this is for real. This isn't just spawn jokes going on here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
someone's been watching the NA group.
Exactly. Bastion has made his grand appearance, and for the 3 tanks that are coming out here for NIP, they might be shredded here if Reunited plays this right.
Find out. They're being very quick about it. They will have no advanced warning that this is coming. They haven't even seen that Bastion yet. He's behind the shield now. They're going to realize, and actually, they're going to relocate almost instantly. They don't want to have to deal with anyone jumping on them. And in IP, I mean, they would have that Winston maybe to try and see if they could get it close.
This is the classic support the Bastion comp too. You have the Reinhardt with the shield. You have the Mercy that can res the Bastion if she's able to build up her ult. But here comes NIP. They're coordinated. They're moving right in. They're trying to go in on this Bastion. In comes the Reinhardt charge. Crew's going down early. There will be no res. Himsy on the Voltage and NIP. They're getting the picks they need to get right now, Anders. That was a great adaptation by them.
Definitely was, and Winston with the ultimate just to follow it up. Himsy getting a kill on Mort, and this is just not looking good for Reunited. There's a reason why we tell children that story about putting all the eggs in one basket. This is exactly what happens if it fails Reunited. I mean, they're in a lot of trouble here. They're trying to reinforce the point as quick as they can, but it doesn't seem possible. And it's going to be NIP with an incredibly quick cap.
Reunited, that's not a gambit they run all that often. They are going to be swapping off in a hurry. They don't usually run a Mercy, but the reason why you run a Mercy with that comp is that the Zarya can shield the Bastion, the Mercy can res it back up, and it's really good if you get established, but NIP, their very first attack was lethal, and now they have momentum going to the next fight. They're soon to have a Graviton, they're going to have Sound Barrier, they have Nano Boost. Unfixed has a Graviton in turn, so everyone might be feeling the gravity pull.
See what's going to happen already. Jumping in there, very aggressive on the defensive side, just with the Winston, trying to get into the back line, but not going to work out for Sappers. He's already out of it.
And it's just two quick picks here from NIP. It was REUNITED. They weren't super coordinated when they went in there. They sort of went in a little bit scattered, and NIP immediately punishing. They move forward. They're able to maintain most of their ultimates. Zapdos, of course, used a pulse bomb early on, but overall, this is just good, aggressive cleanup coming in from NIP. And what was that? That is nerves coming out from Kib. He should not have Death Blossom there.
No, you've got to think that's a really big throwaway. They needed that. Unfixed has hold on to his ultimate. Mort has his, so they could have gone for a massive one-bow combo with the nano boost, the ult, and the graviton surge. They could have pulled out everything here. Now they're missing one of them, and it's going to be tricky. Himsey coming out with a big overhawk here, just trying to see if he can make that work. He's going to get the one kill in the Wing Haven, and following up, Hook as well. Doesn't even matter. They're just going to get all the kills right now. REUNITED, deep breath right now.
They absolutely have to back off, reestablish. They do have a Graviton at the very least to deal with this, but NIP, I'll tell you what here, Anders, they can use the Sound Bearer to rush right in. If Unfixed doesn't land a good Graviton to set up Volataja, this can go from bad to worse. It's still a fight that REUNITED should win, but NIP definitely has outs to win it. But here comes REUNITED. Winston charging in, leading the way. Zarya bubble, keeping him up. NIP, though, good disengage, and they're coming right back in. Here comes the Graviton. It's up. Is the Pulse Bomb fall up in? It is. Volataja takes down 2.
Finally, a big win here for REUNITED. They've got to hold on to this point for a very, very long time. But Volataja is doing so much work. Sapis in the back line. Well, he's going to get the kill, but he died just before. Kib also picking up a good kill there on Fraggy. And finally, it's REUNITED's turn just to get a little bit of breathing space here. They will hold a point. They'll hold on to 2 ultimates, and they got another 2 coming online very shortly. So actually, even winning the fight, they maintain the ultimate advantage.
Things are going better for REUNITED now, and the thing is, teams have held out entirely on this last point. This last point can be tricky for teams to go into. REUNITED has a lot of experience. They got hit with the Haymaker in the beginning, couldn't recover, but they should be able to go forward here as Cruz is going to open up the Sound Barrier, and they're going to roll right in.
And NIP, I mean, they have time to build ultimate anyway here. It's not like they have pressure to fight right away. Kib gonna be 3 even dodges, and it's gonna be Volataja getting the kill on Himsey, but Kib is doing so much damage in the back line here with the Reaper just following up with the shotgun. 3rd kill coming through, and a complete cleanup. They do use a couple of ultimates there, REUNITED, to defend, and NIP just kind of holding on to theirs.
The scary thing about that combination that REUNITED just did is that normally, you know, Sound Bearer is coming in, you want to disengage. It's really hard to disengage from a speed-boosted, nano-boosted Reaper. Kib was having none of that, and there's just nothing they can do. And speaking of Kib right now, Anders, he is setting the trap. He is in the corner. His Death Blossom is at the ready. He's moving to the back. Death Blossom is out, and Kiddle immediately killed. But Zeppa taking out Kib. Not the worst trade.
No, that was definitely a really good shot coming out. Now the Zarya ult in effect as well. Mafu picking up a kill on Wing Haven. REUNITED needs to hold this, but they're losing so many players. And look at that, Mafu and Himsey just cleaning up that entire defense. And now, can NIP trickle on here long enough? It's going to be a really long fight on this final point if it needs to happen. 3 minutes before we even get into overtime. NIP, are they going to be contested at all? The Winston, the first guy in, and now ultimate coming out from Roadhog here on top, trying to push people back as they get closer to the point. But REUNITED, they're all up.
Kib is moving in, nano boosted Reaper into the backline once more. Himsey is down, and REUNITED with the momentum, just pushing back NIP, and they're just getting out of it here. I think Mafu just threw himself off the edge. They're calling for a reset. They got a lot of progress on that last push though, Anders. They will have Sound Barrier v Sound Barrier, and we'll see how the next fight goes. But here's the scary thing. Kib has Death Blossom once more, and he's gonna be saying yet another trap.
REUNITED haven't made any changes to their composition. You think they should on this final point just to stall for time?
I think their composition right now is fine. Honestly, they have to be running the Reaper against the tanks, and I think it's just a matter of execution right now. And let's take a look. The Graviton is out. 4 people are in. Kib slowly moving forward. Death Blossom later on, and that will be the cleanup they need. Good Graviton to set that up.
They just burned through that Sound Barrier incredibly quickly. I mean, it was up to try and defend from the Graviton surge, and it just still wasn't enough for Kindle there. So that is going to be down to now less than 2 minutes here for NIP to make their way through. They have 2 ultimates up, a 3rd one coming online right now. I mean, I think this could well be decided on who has the most ults at maybe the next fight here.
It absolutely could. They will be opening up here with the nano boost. We'll see who they decide to put it on. Most likely Fraggy with how they've been playing here. And REUNITED, they're going to be able to counter-engage the Sound Barrier, though. So Sound Barrier, not to be underestimated, one of the best ults in the game. Nano boost is in. Fraggy swings the hammer. Holding on to Earthshatter. Drops the hammer. Got knocked down 1. Not getting as much off the charge. And REUNITED's dealing with this pretty darn well. And boop goes Fraggy, getting knocked off by Wing Haven.
Oh, he got pushed in that charge as well. He
Oh,
couldn't
no!
another one going across. This is unbelievable, Cruz.
Oh my God!
Pushing them out of the map.
Cruz was that was the thing where Winghaven's like, I just knocked 2 off, and Cruz is like, no, let me show you how you throw people off the edge. Oh, wow.
All right then, never mind ultimates or anything else. Just make sure they leave the map.
And what's Kib? Kib right now in the creeping spot. Will have Death Blossom up in a moment. Here comes the offensive Graviton, but Voltage has already taken out 2. Kind of wasted.
Now it's NIP who are going to be in a lot of trouble. We're down to 40 seconds. Here's CP, and the ultimates building. I mean, REUNITED are about to have 5 ultimates online, and you cannot really say the same for NIP. This is going to be tricky.
It is going to be tricky, and REUNITED showing that even when you're really good at a map, Anders, if you try a tricky strategy and just get absolutely rocked, it can be hard to recover, but they have recovered strongly. They're going to have Sound Barrier, Death Blossom next fight. This is going to be a hard fight to NIP win, and this is their last attempt to close it out. Here we go. Let's see what Kib does. Nano Boost is out. Death Blossom in. Moves right in. Zumpy falling. And REUNITED just rolling right into NIP.
Kim's going to be going down. They do finally take care of the Ana, but the Nano Boost was already used, so it's less effective still. Kip trying to see if he can stay alive, right? Getting some help, and with a little bit of a punch in there. It's Winghaven to pick up the final shot on Fraggy. It looks like NIP out of time, out of players, and REUNITED gonna stand their ground here. What an impressive defense at the final stage of Numbani. It's only the first half of the map, but still, that's, I mean, you're right. They were struggling. First point, they took a big risk. It didn't work out. Second point, they re-engaged maybe just a bit too soon, and then they had to wait till the end, basically.
Honestly, I just love the ending there where people got thrown off the edge. It reminds me of an action movie where you see people enter a room thinking they're going to do something grand, and then they just see them get thrown out of the room unceremoniously. Well, that was NIP. They got thrown off Numbani unceremoniously. Really cool stuff coming out from Cruz and Winghaven on that play.
I really wish, you know, when Fraggy was doing that charge, I don't know if that would have changed the outcome of the fight, but he got pushed, and I'm wondering if it was the Saria, the little burst there, because it wasn't that much. It was just a little push to the side.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was. It might have been that in terms of that, because yeah, it was definitely throw him off target, ended up charging into the wall.
Yeah.
Either way, though, that was just such a great collapse by REUNITED. Just for comedic purposes. I mean, anytime you have people just getting thrown off something, it's great. We were just talking a little bit before, like one of the best things of Overwatch from a caster perspective is all the crazy stuff that happens that you can just sit back and laugh at. There's great skill, but there's also just great times as well.
There are some really funny moments when you have to laugh because it's so good. Some of the hooks that we've been landed, we've been watching from Himsey, they've been hilarious as well, but not if you're on the receiving end. That's not funny anymore.
No, definitely not. Where it's like, that Roadhog can't possibly, are you kidding me? Why did that hook actually hit me?
Well, it's going to be REUNITED's turn to try and see if they can push, and we've got a Genji. Really, he's like embracing the ninja roleplay right here. I like this from Kib.
Man, I feel like the observers are taunting me a little bit. There's a point where I went off on rants about, why is there a golden rhino on this map? What went through an artist's mind? We're just like, you know, it'd be really cool. We're just gonna make a golden rhino. Just like, I want to know the thought process behind it. It's neither good nor bad, but just, why a rhino?
Could it be the basis for a hero in the future? I would like, I have a soft spot for rhinos. I think they're amazing. So maybe that could be it. Rhino-themed hero. I wouldn't mind that at all. Kib casually doing some damage, but not really that much just yet. Winston trying to fall back a little bit here, but REUNITED trying to make their way in. They trade places quickly. A little bit of a weird duel going on, which Sappers is going to come out on top of. And look at this, REUNITED answering back, Unfixed with 2 big kills, and Cruz also helping out, taking out Fraggy.
Unfixed just going wild on the Diva, on the point, and unfortunately their NIP did invest a lot into getting rid of Kib. Zappis went away from the main fight. Normally Winston's in the main fight, but his main goal was to take out Kib, stop his legendary Genji, and unfortunately, even though he did that, it came at the cost of the rest of his team as fireworks going out from Unfixed. And just so people know, wondering, why did he do that? That seems like a waste. He's not staying on Diva, he's swapping out.
I might as well provide a little bit of entertainment. Obviously, if someone had walked into it, then that's just a bonus. Now let's see if they can make the corner here. REUNITED did not put up a good defense when it was their turn to do. Let's see if NIP can do better here. Transcendence even going to be coming out to buy more HP for REUNITED. And in the backline, Valutasha trying to see if he can win this fight. Should be possible against the Reinhardt. He's doing significant damage. Oh!
That is unexpected. Vods does not see the hammer coming through the door. And this is a good stall from NIP. They're fighting it right back. They lost Himsy very early on. One of their big guns, and it doesn't matter. Zappis right now rolling around Primal Rage, trying to knock someone off. Graviton coming in late into the fight. But NIP definitely with momentum. They have to be careful though, Anders, because respawns come in fast and furious here, and you don't want to throw your defensive edge away.
Yeah, REUNITED are entirely out of ultimates right now. Fraggy still has his Earth Shatter if they need it, so I feel like maybe REUNITED need to rethink the approach right here and try and see if they could just take a deep breath and regroup before they just end up running in one at a time.
Earthshatter coming in here from the defense, and oh my goodness, they're so aggressive right now, Anders. And REUNITED, they don't have a great response to this. Usually REUNITED can handle this, but they've been rough. Voltaja will have a pulse bomb up in a moment. We'll see if he can get to that backline, throw it on Himsy or Reinhardt. Oh no, gets the charge right on the Zarya. Might have been looking to go off the edge, but Fraggy, well-educated charge there. Might have gone a little bit too far up though, as REUNITED starting to push right in and punishing this.
Yeah, Fraggy dropping very low, and he's not going to be able to survive, so REUNITED actually stabilizing a little bit. Now they have 3 ultimates on the line. I was a bit worried when they missed that Earth Shatter. I thought that was actually going to backfire on them. But they are going to be moving forward unfixed. He has his ultimate. Mort has his, and Kip as well. So they're in position for a really big combo.
The Graviton is going to be huge here. They don't have a Pulse Bomb with it, but you don't need a Pulse Bomb. They have the Death Blossom, and honestly, just a Winston jumping in and left clicking can be a huge deal with his primary fire. He's moving in. Graviton is out. 3 people pulled in, and here comes REUNITED. Can they follow through? They take out Mafu. Not much more than that, but Kib holding on to the Death Blossom, creeping towards the back line, waiting to drop the ultimate at a moment's notice. And he's just holding on to it right now, thinking that left clicks will do the job.
But he's not wrong either. I mean, he wasn't even losing that much health, so why not just keep shooting and wait to see what happens? The Winston taking so much damage from those Hellfire shotguns. He's trying to stay alive on the point, but Sap is just not going to make it work, and Kib's still doing damage down here, looking for the kill on Lelucio, and it's going to happen as well. Kill out of it, and I have no idea how Kib's living for this long. He's just great support play coming in from his team as well. And REUNITED going to be pushing on.
The key thing I want to note there about REUNITED is the idea of ult economy and using only what you need to do to win the fight. That was really smart play by Kib because he was using his primary fire, not dropping the ultimate. The ultimate would have ended the fight quicker, but he knows that they were able to win it without. And now, going to the next fight, we're going to be looking at a nano-boosted Reaper with Death Blossom. Here he goes, Anders. He's moving right in, right to the back line, targeting Himsy, takes out the problem, and here comes REUNITED again. A quick triple kill from Kib.
Stunning play coming out of the Reaper. He's just going to continue. And because that first fight lasted so long unfixed, even though he used his Zarya ult to start it off with, he just has it again now. So they just keep resetting at the perfect time, REUNITED. And NIP, they are going to be swapping into a D.Va just to try and see if they can keep this alive. They know they are in for the battle of a lifetime right here. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to try and keep them back. And the Zarya sent flying, unfixed, still not using the ultimate, but he's almost fully charged in that particle cannon, doing so much damage, taking down Kindled, taking down Sappers as well. And this is just all gone right for REUNITED. They've got so much time, and NIP are going to fall.
Cruz with a triple kill at the end, showing that Lucio's can do quite a bit of damage in the right circumstances as well. But I just want to draw attention to the great ult economy and decision-making by Kib there. Because you look about how the last fight went that set that up. He saved the Death Blossom for that fight. They had that combo at the ready. If he had just said, I'm using it to win the last fight, who knows how it goes down? Maybe NIP comes back and has a really big hold as a result, but REUNITED showing their experience there, and we're evened up 1-1.
But I will almost even, just to add to that, I would even say it's double trouble, because it's true, if he uses the Death Blossom, he doesn't have it maybe for the next fight because it finishes, but the fight does finish early, as you said. But if he does that, then that also doesn't allow Zarya to build up the ultimate again. You know, so the fact that the fight lasts that long, Zarya's just in the background building ultimate, so they just have that combo ready again. It's impressive.
And that's a really good point that I think people haven't thought too much. And are people going to be flying off cliffs here, Anders? The answer is yes. Look at this. Just off he goes. Winghaven dropping people off. crews, dropping more people off. Oh, that is the stuff that you just love watching Overwatch for, man. That's why it's so good.
Oh man, that's just really, really good footage. I like it. And you feel helpless when it happens to you when you're playing the game. You're just like, I can't get back, you know. Obviously, some heroes, you're Genji or Winston or Pharah, something you can sort of try and rescue yourself from it, but not always.
The funnier part is when you are a Winston or Pharah and then you can't get up because their cooldowns are gone. But Kib, just such good Reaper play throughout that entire game.
Well, we see him right here because you are not wrong. On point with the shotgun, it's just good aim, even close range, which is not always that easy. And then as you were pointing out, holding on to the ultimates forever and ever. Even trying to get them as they're falling off. He knows they're not going to survive.
But it's ult charge. You shoot him there, you get extra ult charge just because. Just kicking people while they are literally down.
And you saw right at the end, he was sort of attacking the Reinhardt there. There was actually nano boosted, but had to use his shield to stay alive. It's also an unfortunate situation. You get the nano boost in on the Reinhardt, but you're losing the fight so badly you can't even drop the shield and just swing for it. That's just unfortunate timing. So I mean, if you just joined us in the first half, and it may have looked like, and it certainly looked like to me, like REUNITED were going to get beat up on Numbani here.
Well, I think, again, it just goes back to what they started. They went with the high-risk, high-reward strategy with the Mercy, Bastion, Zarya, where if they had won that first fight, what goes into the next fight? Suddenly, you kill the Bastion, he gets res back up. Or you have tank mode to start things out. There's a lot of ways that sort of composition can really snowball in the defense. Unfortunately, if you lose, it's a big loss, and they just lost so much momentum, and they had to wait till the very end to actually recover.
Yeah. I think that intro said Numbani, but yeah, all right, we're gonna swap to it here. It's just really, really impressive, and it's not like NIP played badly, I would say. I just think REUNITED showed that they were more prepared to play the second map here. So much working out in their favor. The 3-3 sort of strat that we were talking about early on has been, we introduced it as the NIP strat. It hasn't seemed to come into play the same style for them that it did even just a couple of weeks ago.
No, definitely not. And you even see here in comps, they were more willing to run more 3-2-1s, use Tracer more liberally than all the rest. But I think what you saw here is the fact that REUNITED, they're really experienced here in Numbani, and despite a bad opening, they've defended this last point so many times that they're just comfortable with how they play it, and very comfortable with using the environment to their advantage, as we saw in that particular fight.
we're just gonna keep replaying that clip over and over again. I don't mind that. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, I feel like Unfixed did a really good job, not just sort of with the ultimates and everything, but he had some pretty impressive fights where he was really fully charged with that Zarya shield, and then he just did so much damage. Like the amount of damage he did with the particle cannon was impressive.
It is, and you talk to a lot of pro players, and sort of the prevailing opinion is that Zarya, sure, she's a tank, sure, she has supports in way of shields, she can set up her team with Graviton, but when she is getting good shields off, she's basically a stealth DPS. She can put in all sorts of damage. It's not uncommon to top damage with Zarya if things are going really well, and you really see the top Zarya players in the game just go off under the right circumstances.
And it's obviously very difficult if you're defending. If it was Kip, for instance, we were talking about, if it's the Reaper coming in and he's already been shielded by Zarya, the option to not attack him so that you don't charge Zarya isn't really there. Like, it's very difficult to do that. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, and obviously the problem is if you could just deal with him somehow, if you could flashbang, if you had a McCree or something like that. But the shield sort of stops that too. So it's really tricky. How do you deal with that?
The shield stops a lot of things you want to go against it because, yeah, one of the things you could go to is use the flashbang, use the earth shatter to stop it. But if you open up the Zarya shield, there is that brief window where you have to damage it down, then use a CC if you're even running that in your composition. But doing that in the moment while he's spinning into you at Mach 10, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah, and I think actually a lot of the sort of evolution of the current meta game is probably going to be trying to look for how do teams learn to deal with it. We've seen some teams now been fairly efficient at using the Lucio speed boost with the Reinhardt shield to fall back, just to stay away from the Reaper while that combo is going on, so that they only engage once it's sort of gone. But you got to be in a really great position to do that. You can't just sort of always choose that, right?
No, definitely not. And I think the cool thing meta-wise, you are seeing different options deal with that. I'd say the biggest thing is just really be aware, don't stay clumped up, make it so if he does engage, he's not getting as much as he wants. Run things like McCree a little bit more where a McCree, even though there is that brief window where you can't flashbang, a lot of the times you're not going to have the best coordination or they'll look for more opportunistic stuff. Flashbang can stop it. There's ways of dealing with this. I actually do like what Reinhardt's been doing too, where not even just against Reaper, but in general, holding Earth Shatter as a counter to certain things. You used to see it a lot more against stopping Dragon Blades, but it's a good way of stopping a nano-boosted hero from doing all sorts of terrible things to you as well.
Well, you see them all lined up here, all 12 players, and this, I mean, it's going to go all 3 maps. That in itself is evidence that we've got a really good game on our hands here, but I like the fact that the first map seemed sort of very convincing for NIP. Second map, you definitely saw what REUNITED were all about. Now, we're going to head into Watch Point Gibraltar.
Gibraltar is an interesting case here because it's both good and bad for the triple tank type compositions. I think at the very beginning it can be pretty darn decent. Obviously, I think if there's any map in the game, at least for the very beginning, that is a Roadhog map, it would be this. I go throw back to some of the older NA competitions where you see someone like Harblue just shut down a team single-handedly. It's huge. But as you get deeper into the map, I feel like it's a little bit harder to do that, and REUNITED going to try and abuse verticality for sure in defending versus NIP here.
NIP going to be pushing out the gates, and literally nobody is shocked that REUNITED haven't put up a defense just yet. But if you're a brand new viewer, you may be wondering, why are they just letting them push all the way? Why is that, CV?
They're letting them push all the way because the way the respawns work on this map, you definitely don't want to hold further up. It's a very defender advantage position right before the hangar, and that's why teams go back here. There's a lot of ways approaching it. Sometimes they hold server room, sometimes they hold around in a crossfire defense. But for here, REUNITED just willing to give NIP enough space, and they're going to go in and around them here in just a moment as Kib, not wasting any time, goes in, but the sleep dart sets him up for Himsy, and first pick of the game going to NIP.
Man, he was sleep hooked and shotgunned. Oh my god! There it is, the $1,000 hook coming out on Cruz, and Himsy just doing work. Fraggy taking one more out. Sappers following up on the May, taking down more. It's all going wrong for REUNITED. So you're exactly right, obviously. They did choose the more defensible position, and then this kill could not do anything. And I mean, the fact that the Reaper engage from Kib started out that way, that's just unfortunate.
That was the bad. The Cruz getting hooked in a mile away across the wall. That was the worst. That is what absolutely sealed the fight. Is a big play from Himsy. And now NIP, they have a lot of momentum here, Anders. They're going to have a big ult advantage moving forward. They will have a nano boost on the way. And look at this, another hook moving right in by Himsy, forcing Kib to back out. And Himsy's just been having the run of it.
And we've seen in the past that this hangar stage is actually incredibly difficult to get through if the defending team gets a setup on the high ground and they have all the ultimates and everything else. So NIP, they're going to be excited they can do this. Unfixed going to be going down, and Himsy, can anyone stop this man? He's just absolutely wrecking them right now, and he's going to be moving on. They have a lot of ultimates up on the NIP. They're actually about to have 6 ultimates up. Is there any way that they can lose this next fight?
There is a way they can lose the next fight. If Kib or Voltaja can pick people off in the very beginning before the support ults come down, they have a chance. Kindle should be very aggressive in using a sound barrier here. He shouldn't wait. Just be aggressive, but here we go. Death Blossom coming into the back. Sound barrier going to mitigate a decent amount of it, though. Let's go. NIP just rotate right back in. The Graviton fall through is there from Himsy, and they roll right through REUNITED.
They do use all of their ultimates, NIP. They actually use 6 ultimates to win that fight. And REUNITED sort of come out having unfixed and almost Cruz as well. So maybe they finally have a chance here where they can sort of slow down and see if they can make it work. But not if they keep running in one at a time. Morten, Valutasia, and Kib going down as well. This NIP train, it's unstoppable.
REUNITED started out the map badly. They never were able to get established on the second point. NIP's momentum rolling over there. All players aside from May on fire right now. This is bad for REUNITED. Unfixed, will he be able to give them some degree of sanity here with the Graviton surge? We'll have to see, but that's really REUNITED's hope here, that at least pull this back.
They have Valutasia now as well, so it could be a Graviton surge into the Pulse Bomb, and that would certainly help out well. But Kib doing it without any help. Oh, wow. Another hook coming in on the Tracer. Himsy on point, but they are going to be hunted down eventually. Unfixed picks up a couple of kills there, so REUNITED It's a similar story as to previous map where they sort of only at the end really start to put up a defense.
I gotta say, I wasn't a fan of the sound barrier coming out there from REUNITED. They did it right after getting a pickoff. Don't think it was super necessary, but they still have a lot of ultimates up here for the next fight. They do have the Graviton. Graviton out here from and fixing up, pull 3 people in. Blizzard falling through his Voltage at the bomb in the back. Takes down 2. NIP's gonna have to regroup.
Yeah, they don't really have a choice. It looked actually like Sampis was going to be in a good position for that Blizzard, but there wasn't really any kind of a big follow-up. So now they're just trading a little bit of damage and trying to fall back around the corner here. Building some ultimates, but not nearly as many as REUNITED are.
Alrighty, so NIP regrouping once more, and REUNITED, this is where we'll see if they can play the ult economy game a little bit better. They are staggering their ultimates to some degree. Kib did not Death Blossom in the last fight, but he is setting up for it right now, Anders. This is one of the best Reaper drop-down spots in the entire game, and this could be explosive.
I love the Pharah pick on Sampis here because of the fact that you can fly over the building, so it could be very interesting to see how that's going to play out, but you're absolutely right. Kib, he's up here ready and waiting. There's a little bit of communication, but he actually gets found out. That's a nice little... Oh, I think there's a miscommunication there. The nano boost coming out, and you can see Kib was falling back. He's just going to fall back. That could really cost REUNITED. That's definitely a decisive moment in this third map.
REUNITED gave up positioning, they gave up ultimates, they lose Cruz. Kib fighting in the back. That's a little bit aggressive there from Fraggy. He went way away with his team. Some of a mistake there, but look at Zappis right now, hanging around as Pharah laying in the rockets, and REUNITED, they don't have anything great for dealing with them right now. It's kind of down the Morte that just poke down the Pharah. I'm curious, for Voltage, he's one of the best McCrees in the game. He doesn't play it as often. I kind of want to see him swap to the McCree here if he gets a chance. He has a pulse bomb up, but it'd be worth the sacrifice just to get Zappis under control. We'll see if he decides to go for it.
It's definitely going to be rough, you're right. They don't have anyone who could hook him out of the sky or anything like that either. He's going to be coming in here, Kib with a big ultimate in the back line, but he only gets the 1 kill, and he's back in Wraithorn. Look at that payload. It's almost at the point. So much damage being coming, but now Sap is coming through with the ultimate. It does some damage, but not quite enough for them to make the breakthrough happen.
Morte bringing the Ana damage, takes down 3 at the very end. Voltage with a little bit of the cleanup, and Ana is honestly very, very good at that. It's sort of underrated to what her cleanup can be in that fight, but people were somewhat damaged. Morte just goes, gonna hit you, gonna hit you, gonna hit you. Suddenly, 3K for Ana. Good play by Morte.
You just saw Kib swap to McCree and then back again to Reapers. There was like probably a brief discussion on the team where someone else had the same thought you had, CP, and said, well, maybe that could be the answer to the Pharah. We'll see if they're going to need it at all. Winghaven and Valutage are doing great work right now, pushing NIP back. We're down to 1 minute and 50 seconds here.
I just wonder if we're seeing a repeat of Nambani to some extent right now here, Anders, where REUNITED just started out badly, took a long time to recover, but now they've recovered. NIP with some really big troubles here. And the Pharah's been interesting, but Morte, he's been doing a good job of containing it as here comes Kib, rolling to the back line. Momentum in favor of REUNITED. Earthshattered being dropped by Winghaven. Counter Earthshatter comes in, but it's just too late.
Kib trying to see if he can do anything there, but he does go down eventually unfixed. Charging in, and very charged indeed on that Saria Valutasha, trying to build some more ultimate. He did use his Sappis is back online, but the fact that Mort was able to snipe him that effectively last time before the fight started is obviously huge. Now Valutasha coming through with a sound barrier. He can very easily run around to the back line. He eventually gets hooked by Himsy and unfixed, dying on his own, it seems.
Well, this could be going from bad to worse here for REUNITED. NIP is on the approach. They have sound barrier up to really secure this here in just a moment. REUNITED, they're going to be respawning. They're going to be getting shot at from the spawn doors and dealing with the sound barrier. NIP in a great position now to finish out this map.
They really are. They have a couple of ultimates as well, including that big one on Mafu, so let's see if that's going to be a feature. Actually not going down yet. They're saving it. NIP there finally is the counter graviton surge coming in on top of the ultimate from Sappis and almost getting a couple of kills. He's going to get one on Kip there and trying to follow it up. NIP, they just need another couple of inches. It's Cruz going to be going down, and Valutage hooked and dead. Unfixed, trying to buy time, but it's just not going to happen here. NIP, they make it through with 20 seconds left.
And that was good by NIP towards the end. I think the real killer there was that you take a look at it. It's hard to sort of go back in on that spawn point. Unlike your, say, Volskayas, we could easily rush back in. On Gibraltar, you have to go up the stairs. There's choke points you go through. And if the enemy team also can sound barrier as you're trying to come back up, it is absolutely brutal. So everything worked out there for NIP in the end. But props to REUNITED for the recovery. They bought themselves a lot of time.
They definitely did. I mean, we always talk about the sort of the really great plays in Mbani. We're talking about, you know, the people being pushed off the edge, and it's really good. But I think it's worth sometimes analyzing some of the mistakes that happen. And that moment when Kib is waiting with the Reaper up there, he gets spotted by the Pharaoh. And we've got to give credit to Sapis for checking that corner. But as soon as it's checked, you see Kib sort of thinking, all right, I got to get out of here. And he's not wrong. But when he jumps down, it's very clear that that Ana thought, oh, great, I'm gonna use the nano boost right now, and we'll go for it. And Kib was not ready for that.
And then Kib sort of did a half-hearted, I guess I'm going to go forward, and then not. But, man, you want to talk about great plays here. Let's talk about Himsy's hooks, where Lucio, that is not the wall ride he wanted to go on there, Anders.
Himsy hooks has become a sort of a meme, hasn't it, at this point in time, which you can understand why he's hitting so many of them, and on really, really key heroes.
Yeah, it's huge, and honestly, I think the person that's been getting hit the most is Cruz, and it's one of those things where you could go, well, gee, Cruz, just watch the Roadhog, but really, I've seen Himsy do that to so many people. That's just a Himsy thing. You think you're going to try and avoid him, it's harder than it looks.
Gonna get a chance to see if he could do it now, playing on the defensive side. That's NIP, and REUNITED gonna be on the offensive side. Kip picking up the Genji very early on. Actually gonna be swapping back. I sort of wish that he would have. I miss seeing Genji. That was the thing for a while, wasn't it?
Kib's Genji was great, and REUNITED had a great strategy with it where it was sort of one-dimensional, but you'd usually see Kib way off on the side, would come in on the Genji flank right with the rest of his team, and if Kib wasn't shut down, he would get 3-4 kills with ease. But REUNITED, they do get off of that somewhat as late, and I gotta say, NIP again, a little bit more of an aggro defense here by Gibraltar standards. Usually teams back out by now. I think they are. He's sort of pushing Mafu back with his feet as Mafu got slept there. Oh, man.
Yeah, leave no man behind, right? He may be sleeping on the battlefield, but they're going to try and see if they can sort of make it work anyway. I like that. That's some good camaraderie coming out of NIP. But REUNITED on the other side are still going to be pushing through. Valutasha trying to see if he can get a little bit of high ground advantage here with the Tracer jumping up on top and actually all the way in the back line, while NIP falling back into the server side.
Yeah, and REUNITED, they're just taking their time as they go in. Now they're rushing the server room. They are moving in. Valutasha coming off the flank. The rest of REUNITED coming in from the front, but they still have people on the payload, so they're not fully engaging in this. Valutasha eats the icicle to the head, and 2 down here for REUNITED. So NIP, they bend there, Anders, but they do not break.
Definitely a really, really good job. Mort almost looked like he was going to be sniping out Suppe there, but did a pretty good job of staying alive anyway. At NIP, they're already buying more time here than REUNITED managed to do, and that could really make a big difference at the end, especially if NIP could also settle in that hangar stage.
It's not uncommon for teams to full hold on this point either. This is one of the more defensible first points in the entire game. So REUNITED, they lose the next 1 or 2 fights. They actually have to be feeling very, very afraid. And let's just take a look at Himsy right now. Himsy looking for the right angle of going around. He's trying to stay hidden. Valutasha moves in, says, I don't even want to be anywhere near you. Rewinds right out. And NIP being pretty aggressive here, REUNITED, and they're rewarded with a quick pick on Winghaven.
See Himsy, just there's a little bit of a fight going on between him and Valutasha. Oh, it is so close.
Himsy is a scary raid boss, man. REUNITED is giving him all the respect in the world. They know he's someone they have to focus on. And Valutasha, you see it in his Tracer play, where he looks at Himsy and is just like, he just looked at me for half a second. I am blinking because there's a hook coming in, but here comes Himsy right now on the approach, and he's gonna back off.
He's not really interested in wasting that hook on hooking Winghaven so much. He really wants one of the softer characters. They are finally going to go for it. The Blizzard already coming out. Kib here, ult is ready. He's going to go right in between all of them, but he's been stunned as well, and he's going to be going down there. Kindle with the kill. Valutasha picking up one big shot, but he dies to Sapis and NIP. Can they hold on long enough right here? An ice wall to keep a couple of players alive on the other side. REUNITED having to go around and trying to find that Lucio. Winghaven is no longer in the fight, and NIP, how long can they defend this?
They could defend for longer here. Zappas has been a huge thorn in REUNITED's side. The Sound Bearer came out late into the fight. It's letting NIP be more aggressive. REUNITED still to pick up 2 kills, but Himsy knocks away Morte with authority. The whole hog out. Reinforcements are in, and NIP is going to hold in no small part due to the heroics of Zappas. And Anders, we're down to the last minute right now. If REUNITED is not successful on their next push, that is it. NIP will take the series and move on. So a lot of pressure here on REUNITED, and I think a lot of pressure here on Kib. They will have Sound Barrier, Death Blossom. They need that to be effective.
I mean, on the American side of the bracket, we were getting so focused on Seagull and his Mei, but that ice wall coming up there, definitely helping out. That meant they couldn't get the kill on the 2 or 3 people that were on that side of the wall, so we'll see how it's going to go now. We're down to 25 seconds.
All right, well, here comes the offense. Kib, will you be the star once more? This is a must-win fight for REUNITED. They are moving in. Sound barrier is out. Kib does not quite have Death Blossom yet. Looking for his opportunity. Zappa's just hanging around here. The Sleep Dart almost killing Voltaja as REUNITED moves in. They have gotten 0 kills off of their sound barrier. Mafu punishing Voltaja. And NIP, this is brilliant for them so far. Counter Nano Boost is out. And Anders, they are doing it. Mafu on a triple kill.
Absolutely beastly right now. Those 4 tanks for NIP and then the 2 supports, and it's so hard for REUNITED to break through. They are going to try, but Kib can't do anything. He was right there. He had the nano boost, and it still wasn't enough. Unfixed going down. He had the full ult ready as well, and Voltaja more to follow. NIP, we're in overtime now. They may well be able to take this map right here, right now, and win the best of 3. The hammer coming through as well on Winghaven. He can't buy any more time. There's just no players left for REUNITED. They're going to fall, and NIP prevail.
NIP with a beautiful hold towards the end. And let me tell you, that was not an easy hold. Given REUNITED did have the ult advantage early on in that fight, for them to hold on, back out, find an opportunity to just wait out that sound barrier, come back in with the counter, that was well-coordinated play by NIP, and they have sent REUNITED to the lower bracket in this group stage.
Just very, very impressive. I want to almost just run backstage and catch REUNITED and say what happened with that play over by the last point on the first half with Kib and everything. I'm very interested to see exactly how the communication breaks down. You know, it's a team with 6 players on either team. That's a lot of talking back and forth all of the time, right? So you just have to mishear one little thing or misunderstand the intention, and it could go really bad. That wasn't really the only thing that sort of settled it, but it was one of those moments where you could sort of measure just something going slightly off the rails. And then NIP, you did call them to win it, and they did 2-1.